presentation working with with cooperation with Lobby Korea. I hope you know at least basic knowledge of the BIM and Wimble protocol and its privacy and scalability of the cryptic cards itself. There's not the Wimble protocol.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the green and the BIM.
Currently, the Wimble protocol utilized by Green and Big BIM,
Yeah.
and Litecoin also working on doing their research, and probably end of this year they will also try to utilize and put transaction on top of the Wimble protocol.
Right. I know about Light.
Yeah. So.
But I know green and BIM, and actually I know what depends on what.
Actually, because you know that the founders are originally from Russia, most of the founders.
Yeah, right. But they're so close, you know. They never showed up.
They actually do. They do. They came last time. They've been here in the economy.
Probably.
And other the consensus and other crypto-related conferences. So, Wimble, as I mentioned above, it's a privacy coin, which, as you know, most of the people thought the Bitcoin is a privacy coin before, and in some sense, yeah, you can say Bitcoin also is a privacy coin. But in the Bitcoin, the blockchain, you can check and see the transactions and then owner of the account, and all the transactions are listed there. But in terms of the Wimble, the protocol and the BIM, you only can see unspent BIMs in the account. But what it means, there is a spent and unspent account BIMs, which means that when the user sending their BIM tokens to the other account holder, the protocol itself will cuts through the design and only cuts all the transactions and the stores only UI, UTX version of the transaction in the on the blockchain itself. So what it gives most of the time, it cuts the scalability. It improves the scalability, and you will not have a high level of gigabytes on the Bitcoin. I mean, on the blockchain itself. Why founders decided to use Wimble and why they decided to bring the privacy? The team, BIM team, considers privacy as a matter in this life, and they say we are losing our privacy in Google and Facebook, and next year you will see a Libra coin token or whatever they say. So they say that privacy equals to liberty, and without privacy you cannot achieve anything. That was the reason why Satoshi created Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is still alive. And you know, the financial privacy is very important in a macro and macro level. For example, if you go to the job and then you always show some of your private life. People see, people ask, people know what you are doing, people try to find out how much you have, what property you are living, what you are going to buy, these kind of things. But that's the reason we actually need privacy coins, and that's the reason, like after the last couple of weeks, why the green and BIM's price is going up, because of the popularity of the Facebook token. So as you know, Google and other social media, most of the time they're watching us, they're watching what we are doing, where we are living. By that, they're offering us to buy the products. We can say, let's skip this one. Most of the Bitcoin maximalists bring the Bitcoin as a privacy coin. Yes, you can use the join market and Tumbleweed and Zerling and Wasabi wallets, which you can mix up your Bitcoins and make really hard to look your transaction history. But it means you have to send them, or you have to find the people who want to send them some other coins. And the last years, like a couple of years, we may say that Monero and Zcash and Dash established to be a privacy account. As you know, Bitcoin is decentralized, deflationary, and low fee and private. But privacy is still in question because you can still track the people and find out who's the owner and how where they are spending the money. Even though they can open the other account and send that money, but still you can see that. As you can see, Bitcoins, you can use, as I mentioned, centralized mixing, Tumblr, CoinJoin, and other confidential transactions. But good thing is that in the Bitcoin you can use the Lightning Network. But I heard that if some player can open and close the Lightning Network, in that case you can absolutely see who's sending and from what account. But in the future, I think the Lightning Network right now is the best solution to make more transactions as a private in Bitcoin. So next one. Here is a little comparison of the Beam, Bitcoin, and Zcash and Monero. As you know, the Monero's privacy is really great. They use the confidential rings, but it means that when you use Monero tokens and send to the other account, in that case, like privacy ring creates 6, even more up to 20 fake input and outputs. Yeah. By this way, the scalability will grow up. And it was like I think a couple months back, it was 25 times more than scalability was 25 times more than Bitcoin. But right now, I think they decreased it to 5 times. But imagine when the Monero reaches the scalability of the Bitcoin, how big it will be, and how you can run the Monero on the system. It's impossible in that case. Zcash also trying some building using Zcash snark algorithm and then trying to build the receipts and then but if you can see in Zcash, there is only even less than 1% using the privacy features of the Zcash. It's also very bad. You know why? Because Beam, in Beam, everything is by nature private. Sending, receiving, all the private. It's not like you can decide to make your transactions a private or the open public. Beam is using echo hash. Before making the Beam were considering to move on, to start as a stake, not proof of work, proof of stake, but then they decided to use the proof of work as a Satoshi first brought proof of work algorithm because it's more natural, more tested version. Maybe in the future they will move, but I don't think so. They will move from proof of work to proof of stake. In that case, Bitcoin is using SHA 256 algorithm to mine, but Beam is using echo hash. Why? In Bitcoin's case, to mine the Bitcoins, you need more processing power, but echo hash requires you have more memory card. I mean, more of the memory of your platform and system. It's more tested. I think it's better than Bitcoin's mining algorithm. So the total amount of Beam coins will be 252 million and 800,000. And first year, 20%. It's like more. Actually, the token metrics is very close to Beam, but 10 times more than, and not Beam. I mean, Beam's token metrics is more close to the Bitcoin, but 10 times more than Bitcoin. Like first year, 20% of the Beam will be mined, and the next 4 years, 40%, and other next other next 4 years like 80%, and then it goes to 113 or something. When we compare Beam to other privacy coins, it's clearly Beam's technology is much better, and even the Monero and the Zcash admit it in that case. And one thing is that Beam has the researchers working on Lightning Network. They want to use Lightning Network on the Mimblewimble protocol, but most of the Bitcoin maximalists say it's impossible. Even in the future, they are planning to bring smart contracts on the Mimblewimble, on the Beam's blockchain. This one I already told. So as I mentioned, by using Mimblewimble, it brings more of the confidentiality on your transactions, and From the founder perspective, you can bring Alexander Zaidos is the CEO of the Beam, and he founded the Beam project in 2018, even more later than Green. And then, but finished mainnet before the Green project. 3rd of January 2019. It's been like only 6 months, but the popularity of the Beam is growing lately. The difference between Green and Beam, the Green is totally public. I mean, they didn't do ICO or pre-mine stuff. They collected 40,000 and 60,000 for the devs. But the problems, I think, with Green, there is a very small amount of developers, and they don't have any viable wallets, desktop wallet, and mobile wallets. But on the other hand, the Beams, the team is working very hard on bringing the wallets, desktop, mobile wallets, even the internet wallets as well. And they have actually the wallets, and then most of the testnet version, and then they are adding more translations of the wallet. Currently, they have more than 20 developers full-time, and then they are hiring more as a part-time for the research purposes. And they have ambassadors all around the world. And about listing on, there is more than like 15 or 20, around 20 exchanges listed over with Beam, but not the popular exchanges. They're all small. So I think in a couple months they will bring the research on Lightning Network, and you will see how the Beam can implement Lightning Network on their blockchain. And we are in talks with Huobi and ZB.com and OKX and Binance to bring the Beam tokens. I think in this year you will see on that exchange as well, the Beam. That's all. You can go if you have questions. We have, if you want to mine the Beam, if there is a couple of the tools to mine the Beam, and then you can ask any questions on their website and their Telegram group, and we have a Korean Telegram group as well. There is a Korean admins. They couldn't come today, but they will be in the next meetups. And find out about Beam and the Google project, Beam and the Google project. That's all. Thank you guys. If you have questions,
is there a possibility to mine even in your wallet, like Beam wallet? Because for it's not the best way, but I think does anybody just mine this Beam?
There is any miners of the Beam?
Yeah, is there miners? Because I've been mining here, but my GPU is very slow. Because I need to buy something like Giga or something like NVIDIA.
But I think next month they will change the algorithm of mining.
Yeah, but it's still ASIC protected, yes?
Yeah.
So you cannot just mine it by yourself. But it's very perspective, guys. It's one of the most perspective token of this year. This Beam and Green. Just take a read about this. It's like a kind of Bitcoin or something like that. So if you want to be like Dash, it's very difficult because you have to buy a node that's cost $500,000. But here you can be the first timers. So take a look at this. It's so true. It's so good, and it's private. You cannot even nobody just see what you're doing with that. And it's probably quite familiar, quite similar like a Monero. But the next level, the 4.0 blockchain, it's the new. So please take a read. It's really great. That's why I'm here in Korea, in Seoul, just here.
And they never did pre-ICO or ICO stage.
Oh yeah, I know.
And they collected only 5 million before after even starting the building. They didn't collect millions, 100 million like Algorand and then other projects trying to collect Avalanche and other kind of blockchain 5.0, they are advertising like that and they are collecting millions and they are not working. But in Beam's case, the developers should work to achieve that 20% of the miners fee. Otherwise, they cannot promote this project and they cannot build and finish it. On the other hand,
the mainnet is on. So mainnet is on from January.
Yeah, in 1 year they built.
It's working product.
Yeah, and they did it from scratch and in C++. On the other hand, the Green's developers used Rust programming language.
Yeah.
it's new, but C++ already shows that we have experience on that.
Right. C++ is great for the core.
Yeah.
Well, you said the transactions, everything is private. So does that mean both addresses are encrypted?
Yes, yes. And they have our usability features. For example, you have a bank account. You have an account in BIM, and the tax authorities or someone wants to see your account, or you set spend, how much you have. In that case, you can create the key and give it for a couple keys, and give the key to the someone who wants to,
The receiver. Okay.
To see how much you have, and they can.
So there's only two parties that can validate the transaction, is that correct?
Yeah.
Sender and receiver.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me give you an example. So let's say you do transaction on an exchange.
Mhm.
So there's three parties.
Yeah, right now the exchange.
It could be three parties.
Yeah, exchange. They are holding beams right now. They are not sending or receiving beams. You can send the beam and trade there, but they are holding. Most of the hot beam is holding. The other exchange is also holding. And the team is working to make it. To receive and send the beam, you must be online. But team is working like that you will be online. I will be offline for a couple hours, and then you send me. I will receive in that case. But I have to be online in specific time. But team also working on that as well. Right now.
Oh, I see.
And actually, I have a question about the node. If you are holding a node, do you have a reward in the mainnet? On BIM node?
Yeah, you have, but I think you need the pool for that.
But so your node is your pool. It's
Yeah,
like it's
right now, right, yes, but
Because-
later on you can set up a node.
Because can you please revert to this the volume of blockchain? Like it was like some slide with the volumes. Like,
I don't think I have
you have it with
here.
Yeah, because of that current size, right? Current size of the blockchain. So actually, if you put your like Ethereum node, because I have an Ethereum node, it is 500 gigabytes,
Yeah.
and we receive nothing. That's why Dash is better for us. But as a B miner, I'm just talking about how much it would be like if I'm just holding a node, like or a pool, and how can I start? So how much does it cost for me?
Actually, you can ask from team in
Right.
Telegram. They are all 24 hours online and can also.
I
I never tried. I don't have a node, and I never tried mining. I always buy.
Yeah, because actually Ethereum not just spending probably 200 of bucks me on DigitalOcean, and I don't see any use on this. So if I can have some rewards from your node, it's so good because I don't want to buy this mining more mining cars for myself because I'm not pro. But node is okay, like investments.
So how much you mining the beam?
Big from January, as just started this mainnet.
Oh.
Yeah, right. Well, I just tried because I heard about Green Beam and actually just read about these products and just put on your wallet and began to mine wallet. Then I put all the stuff because you have inside some overview how to mine, and then I just tried. But still I'm not a pro. I'm not a pro. I have just one ISIC and probably a couple of cards, and they are old, and their skins is also.
But still mining.
Yeah, I'm still mining. Yeah.
That's great.
Right, it's still in my home, right? So it's small,
What about electricity usage?
Well, actually, it's cheap in Russia, so it's
Okay, it's in okay.
So it's okay. It's a small, just small station.
Okay.
I have a question about okay, so Bitcoin's been around for like roughly 10 years, right? So of course it's going to be bigger, but what is the rate of growth on that node versus Bitcoin's rate? Because right now, let's say 5 years from now or 10 years from now, what's the expected size?
Of this,
Yes. That's very important.
you should look into technical specs. But I think that Bitcoin just using, the peer-to-peer protocol, like peer-to-peer. It's if you have a box with 8 on 8,
Right.
so and you put just one this in this box. It's just one big box and just one this in this box. It's a block. And the second one is not enough, it's 2 blocks. So, and they put in it's like this. Bam, 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 yeah, in line, right.
Sure.
So the new protocols just using not this architecture, Like you're not putting in line all your databases. You're just putting it like this, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. So it's more it's better for scalability. But another problem with scalability is that too much of transactions in very small count of nodes. And in Ethereum, it's less and less because it's not good for the project. So I think that the new protocol is just using the new kind of architecture inside, and it's just give economy in your hard disks, because it's to use it you have to use very fast hard disks, 24 hours SSD disks, staying on some kind of like Amazon or DigitalOcean. It's too expensive. Even if it's more, so it's growing up. Ethereum is absolutely boredom. So
does your node hold all transactions of Beam, or is it scattered?
I think the full node.
Oh, partially distributed.
No. I think I don't actually remember, but the full node should just hold everything.
I see.
Yeah. So if we are talking the real blockchain, not like a Libra and something like that. So if we are talking the true blockchain, the node is just holding all the information. But you can store it another way, not like this, but like using 3D dimension for storing, or just for storing.
Oh, I hear.
So just look at the technology. Probably it's a lot of information about this project, and it's really great. It's really great. So we have actually in our crypto community, we have to hold on the project who is great. I know the guy that's sitting here is just creating a great product. He's Mingle Chain. This guy, it's Mingle Chain. It's like it's not new LinkedIn and like a new Tinder in one. So it's made for blockchainers. Nobody control it, like Beam. Nobody controlling your operation. Nobody controlling your communication. We don't have to believe in Z or somebody like Mr. Mark will give us freedom. No, he won. So these blockchainers that see here that build something like Beam and others and Monero and Dash and everybody, we should just just hold each other, just promote each other and be like a brotherhood. That's how we can win. Because banks are about, government are about, they all are afraid about us. Because we're just little guys like geeks, they say like in shorts, who are you? Man, you are not in suit. You are not from our side, so everybody just like being afraid of us. And that's why we should be stronger. That's why we should support each other. Not fighting with each other, but support everybody worldwide. I'm just traveling a lot, and when I'm just meeting people that are truly believers in blockchain. They just try not to sell you something like some shit coins, but just trying to use their technology for all human beings. That's why we are living for. That's why we're just chasing for. That's why we're united for. That's I mean the true idea of all of this blockchain. Not to be like controlled, but to be free. It's a new hope. Like you have to be free. It's for all humankind. Like Cosmos, like do you know the Cosmos protocol? It's a really great project too. So just
I have a question. It's a very important question with the node. So Bitcoin Core, you can access if you have it on your locally, and it's connected to the net. You can access it. Your instance of the core could access the network. Can you do that with Beam? So you have your Beam node, and sitting in somewhere like say a virtual server somewhere. Can you access it via API and do transactions to your local? And then you'll disperse it.
Actually, I think the same architecture. So I don't actually remember what architecture just used Beam for, but probably I think the Bitcoin as well. So we will.
That's great.
Yeah. So you just put in your node, but you have to be uptime. So you have to be 24/7 online with a fast internet and fast SSD.
Let's say for example, somebody hypothetically, I'm not talking about myself.
Right.
Somebody is on travel, and they happen to carry some kind of, I would say, a system that has the Beam node. And then when they land somewhere with fast internet, they synchronize it. It synchronizes it, right? it may take some time.
Yeah, but you're talking not about the full node, you're talking about the light node.
Yes,
It's like a kind
yes.
of a wallet. So you just put your wallet, your BIM wallet, and it's a kind of a light node.
Oh, but let's say it could be a node, it could be a node, let's say, but, because some people, they might have a little tiny computer, and then they travel somewhere, and then they might let it sync for an hour or two, let it sync.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, because some people are really conscious about privacy, right?
Yeah,
They don't wanna access nobody except their own node, for example.
Yeah, it's okay, but there are 4 kinds of nodes, like bridge node, full node, and light node, and you should just watch over the specs. Because
I
I'm
see,
not
I see.
very familiar, but it depends on your services, that what you need, that what you get. So that's why, but if you want a full node, it is, has to be like stationary, like